You know someone like this. Maybe you work with them. Maybe you grew up with them. Maybe you've spent years trying to understand them and came away feeling hollowed out, like something was taken from you that you can't quite name. They charm easily. They lie without flinching. They feel nothing when they should feel everything. And the most unsettling part isn't what they did to you. It's that the world seemed to keep rewarding them for it. And somewhere in the back of your mind, a quiet and deeply uncomfortable question forms. Has it always been this way? Have people like this always existed? And if they have, how did we survive them? Because here is what the modern world gets completely wrong about psychopathy, manipulation, and the dark edges of human personality. It treats them as problems created by civilization, by ambition, by capitalism, by social media. But the research tells a different story. A far older, far stranger, and ultimately far more hopeful story. Go back. Go back past cities and governments and written law. Go back past agriculture, past pottery, past the first permanent settlements. Go back to a time when the entirety of human experience was a small band of people, maybe 30, maybe 50, moving together across open land. A fire at the center, darkness at every edge, stars overhead that no one had yet named. This is where the story actually begins. Anthropologists studying modern hunter-gatherer societies, the Jew, the Hadza, the Batek of Malaysia, noticed something that stopped them cold. These groups, despite having no police force, no courts, no written laws, no prisons, were remarkably egalitarian, remarkably fair, and remarkably intolerant of exactly the kind of behavior we now call psychopathic. The bullies didn't win, the manipulators didn't rise, the liars didn't lead. Anthropologist Christopher Boehm spent decades studying hundreds of forager societies across the world. What he found was a consistent and almost universal social technology that small-scale human groups had independently invented over and over again. He called it the reverse dominance hierarchy, and it worked like this. Any individual who tried to dominate the group, who hoarded resources, who lied to gain advantage, who used charm to manipulate and cruelty to intimidate, was met with a coordinated and collective response. First came mockery, ridicule so sharp and so public that it stripped the would-be bully of the social status they craved. Then came criticism, open and communal. Then came disobedience, a refusal to follow, a withdrawal of cooperation. And if none of that worked, something more severe. Ostracism, exile. In the most extreme cases, sanctioned killing by group consensus. This was not chaos. This was governance, the most ancient form of it on Earth. And it worked because of a biological fact that we have largely forgotten. In small groups, everyone knows everything. There is no privacy in a band of 50 people sharing a fire. Every lie, every manipulation, every act of cruelty happens in front of witnesses. And those witnesses talk, constantly, relentlessly. Evolutionary psychologists estimate that somewhere between 60 and 65% of all human conversation, across every culture ever studied, is gossip, not idle chatter. Social information, the tracking of who can be trusted and who cannot, who gave and who took, who told the truth and who bent it. Gossip was the original legal system. Reputation was the original currency. The psychopath's greatest tool in the modern world is scale, anonymity, the ability to move between the social contexts, to reset their reputation, to find new victims who don't yet know what the old ones learned. In a city of millions, a skilled manipulator can operate almost indefinitely. But in a group of 50 people who have known each other since birth, who will die in the same community they were born into, who share the same fire every single night, that tool doesn't exist. You couldn't hide what you were, not for long. And then we built things. We built surplus. We built walls. We built hierarchies with men at the top who controlled the grain and the land and the water. And suddenly the skills that had made someone a social threat in a small band became the skills that made someone a king. Dominance stopped being punished. It started being rewarded. Cruelty got a throne. Manipulation got a title. And the collective mechanisms that had kept those impulses in check for hundreds of thousands of years quietly dissolved in the shadow of the first palace walls. We didn't just lose our egalitarianism. We institutionalized its opposite. The psychopath didn't create civilization, but civilization created the perfect conditions for the psychopath to thrive. Scale removed accountability. Hierarchy removed the group's ability to push back. Anonymity made reputation cheap and easily replaced. And the gossip networks that had served as humanity's immune system for millennia were replaced by propaganda, by spin, by the careful management of public image. We traded our oldest protection for progress, and we've been paying the price ever since. But here's what the research also shows, and this is the part that matters most. The capacity for collective resistance never left us. It went quiet, it went underground, but it didn't disappear. Every time a group of ordinary people exposes a liar in power, every time a workplace collectively refuses to protect someone who has been causing harm, every time a community closes ranks around a victim and turns its back on a manipulator, something ancient is being remembered. Something that does not require law or institution or authority to function. Something that lives in the oldest parts of how we relate to each other. You were built for this. Your instincts. The discomfort you feel around someone who smiles too easily. The way your body goes quiet and watchful in the presence of someone whose words and eyes don't match. The deep satisfaction you feel when a liar is finally exposed. None of that is paranoia. None of that is weakness. That is 300,000 years of social intelligence telling you something true. Your ancestors didn't have courts. They had each other. They had attention and memory, and the willingness to say, out loud, in front of everyone, this person is not safe. That willingness is still in you. We have spent centuries building systems to replace it. Some of those systems work. Many of them have been captured by exactly the kind of people they were meant to stop. But the underlying human capacity, the ability to see clearly, to name what you see, to share that information with the people around you, and to collectively refuse to reward what should be punished. That capacity has never been more available than it is right now. The darkness at the edge of the fire is still there. So are you, and so is the fire. What is perhaps most remarkable is that across every continent, in every climate, in cultures that never made contact with one another, human beings arrived at the same conclusion independently, that no single person should hold unchecked power over others. That the group's survival depended not on elevating the strongest or the loudest, but on keeping them accountable. This was not weakness. This was the most sophisticated social insight our species has ever produced. And it predates every constitution, every court, every democratic institution by hundreds of thousands of years. The wisdom was never lost. It was only buried. And it is closer to the surface than you think. If this made you see something differently, consider subscribing. There is a lot more where this came from. Quiet, patient explorations of the things hiding just underneath the surface of human history. New videos every week. We will see you in the next one.